What is going on, guys? This is your boy Easley Jackets here, and I'm bringing you your Western Conference Finals predictions for 2014. And in this series, we got the savvy veterans, the #1 seed San Antonio Spurs versus the #2 seed, the young Oklahoma City Thunder. And I believe that there are 5 key factors for this series. I think that it's kind of, the old versus the new, not to diss San Antonio, but they are on the older side. So to get into those factors, I think the #1 factor is Tim Duncan. And if these aren't in order, by the way, but if you watch game 1, you know that Tim Duncan had 27 points. The Spurs scored 66 points in the paint, which is a lot of points in the paint considering in the season OKC was only giving up around 40. Now, keep in mind, Oklahoma City just took a huge blow by losing Serge Ibaka for the rest of the postseason. And personally, I think that it was karma because the Clippers got cheated in Game 4 and Game 5. But that's just because I'm a Clipper fan. Now, anyway, back to the subject of the matter is that Ibaka would really be the one guarding Tim Duncan, and now he's out for the series. So the Thunder are kind of in a dilemma defensively, especially because, they have Kendrick Perkins, who's probably going to be on splitter, and they also have Nick Collison, but neither of these two can guard Tim Duncan. And even by putting Collison and Perkins in the game, you basically lose an offensive weapon because, Serge Ibaka is better offensively and defensively than those two. So, that being said, Tim Duncan obviously has his way with most defenders. Even being, 37 or 38 years old, he can still, post up and hit the bank shot over whoever, whenever. You know what I'm saying? So, the #2 factor, I think, is Tony Parker. And this is more for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think, if Tony Parker plays well, the Spurs win 9 times out of 10. You see what I mean? If Tim Duncan plays well, the Spurs don't always win. But if Tony Parker plays well, the team plays better. And I think if OKC can contain Tony Parker, which, obviously Lillard wasn't able to do, it's very difficult. Not a lot of people can do it. Then, the Thunder will see some success. Westbrook is going to have to work his butt off, but be under control because the Spurs like to slow down the tempo, run sets, and just be, a fundamental basketball team, while OKC, likes to run more. So we'll see, what role Timmy and Tony play in the Spurs' success. Obviously they're going to play a huge role, but the Spurs are also balanced, and they have a deep bench. So it's going to come down to, can OKC play well against whoever is in the game, because the Spurs have threats regardless of who's in the game, especially Kawhi Leonard. Now, he's a hidden threat. I seen him do a Euro step dunk earlier today in Game 1, and it was looking pretty vicious. Now, on to the third key factor in this series. I think it will be Kevin Durant, the MVP. You also heard him maybe called the Slim Reaper or Mr. Unreliable. I have no idea what they were thinking with that headline, but as you guys know, Durant has been having a killer season and, a killer postseason too, for that matter. Really showed up in the closing games in the last 2 series against the Grizzlies and the Clips. But, this is a Spurs team that defends pretty well. They got Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green, 2 great defenders. But it'll be on Durant's shoulders, as it has been for most of the season, especially through Westbrook's injury. Can he not just provide the offense, but spark the team all together? Because he's really going to have to keep that unit together if they get down, especially if they get down at home. Now, we've seen Westbrook and Durant make some miraculous comebacks, especially against the Clippers in one of those games. I think it was Game 5, regardless of the controversy at the end. But Durant, I'm saying, is a guy that can get hot at any time, so he's really going to have to be a leader for that team. #4 key factor, I think, is OKC's role players. And when I say role players, I'm not just talking about guys like Nick Collison. I'm also talking about guys like, Derek Fisher, Caron Butler, Reggie Jackson. These guys have to play the series of their lives. And not to say, not to downplay them as, a basketball player or anything, but they really have to play good to beat the San Antonio Spurs. Now, the Spurs are just so well coached with Greg Popovich and so well composed, they really know what they're doing. Well, Derek Fisher, I was going to say these young guys, referring to Reggie Jackson. Derek Fisher's been around for a while. But, they're really going to have to step up and play their best basketball to beat San Antonio. I really think that's how good the Spurs are. They're just really consistent and really composed, especially even when things get tough. Now, the last factor is one I think is a small factor, but it's also a big factor at the same time, and that is age. And, when I say age, it doesn't just mean, oh, Timmy's 38. It means how much does, San Antonio have left in the tank. And that doesn't mean, oh, because we're deep in the postseason. I realize that. Okay, people are obviously going to be playing their best basketball. But when the series gets down to games 6 and 7, if that happens, will the Spurs have enough energy? Will Timmy be able to play, every other day? Will Manu Ginobili be able to play every other day and still run with these guys like Westbrook and Durant that are young? Because we've seen this before in the past, not last year, but the year before, the Thunder would run the Spurs to death. And we saw it in the regular season this year. The Thunder swept the regular season series 4-0 against the Spurs because they would run them to death. And I truly think that Ibaka being hurt really, really, really affects the Thunder. It sucked that happened to happen, at this point in the season for them. However, they still have to play. So we're really going to see what the Thunder are made of. A lot of people around the NBA and stuff are saying, this is Durant's year, this is the Thunder's year. I personally don't like the Thunder because I'm from Seattle, so they kind of stole the Sonics from us, you know what I'm saying? I would have definitely been at, a Sonics-Clippers game in the last series had we still had our team. But, that's all good. That's for another discussion. Nothing against Thunder fans, but I personally think that the Spurs will take this series in 6 games, and I truly think that Ibaka being hurt has a huge part to deal with it. But I think, the Thunder are going to give it everything they got, and, not saying that they can't win it. So if you think the Thunder are going to win, post below in the comments. Tell me why you think that. I look forward to, reading your responses and talking to, viewers and subscribers out there. So thanks for watching, guys. This is Eastleigh Jackets. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like and subscribe. Until next time, I'm out of here.